What if the key to happiness isn't found in achieving more, but in caring less about what others think? Welcome to Bookmarked, where books change lives. Today, we're diving into The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga, a bold, philosophical dialogue between a wise philosopher and a frustrated youth that challenges everything you think you know about happiness, success, and your own identity. This isn't your typical self-help book. There are no productivity hacks here. Instead, you'll learn how to rewrite your life by shifting how you think, not just what you do. Let's get started. The book opens with a challenge. People can change, and every single person can be happy. The youth, skeptical and angry, argues that past trauma, upbringing, and circumstances define who we are. But the philosopher counters with a powerful idea from Alfred Adler, one of psychology's forgotten giants. Adler believed, your past doesn't determine your future. Your present goals do. Think about that. You're not a slave to your history. You're making choices, sometimes unconsciously, based on the goals you've chosen, even if they're holding you back. For example, someone who avoids social situations might be doing so not because of anxiety, but because they've chosen the goal of avoiding rejection, a subtle but game-changing shift. No experience is in itself a cause of our success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, the trauma, but instead we make out of them whatever suits our purposes. That's radical responsibility, and it's the first step toward freedom. Part 2. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Next, the philosopher drops a bombshell. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Feeling stuck, inferior, anxious? Trace it back and you'll often find it tied to your relationships, your fear of being judged, rejected, unloved. This is what Adler calls the desire for recognition, and it can be toxic. If your self-worth is built on others' opinions, you're never really free. We spend our lives chasing approval, from parents, bosses, friends, strangers on social media. But Adler says, stop. Your life is yours to live. And that leads us to the next big idea. Part 3. Separation of tasks. To live freely, you must master one thing: the separation of tasks. It's simple but powerful. Ask yourself, whose task is this? If it's someone else's job to accept you, like you, or validate your choices, that's their task, not yours. You do your job, living authentically. Let them do theirs, react however they choose. Don't interfere. Key quote, if you are not living your life for yourself, who is going to live it for you? This mindset is freeing. It breaks people-pleasing. It ends emotional entanglement. And it teaches you, you're not here to be liked. You're here to live. Part 4. Freedom is being disliked. And now, the heart of the book. The paradox that gives the book its name. Freedom is being disliked. If you want true freedom, you have to accept that some people will dislike you. And that's okay. You're not here to meet everyone's expectations. You're here to live a life that's true to you. Most people confuse being liked with being good. But the philosopher reminds us, those who are liked by everyone are not living their own lives. This doesn't mean being rude or arrogant. It means being clear. You don't control others' feelings, and they don't define your worth. Powerful moment. The youth begins to realize he's been living a life aimed at avoiding conflict, not pursuing purpose. That changes everything. Part 5. Life is not a competition. In our world, we're trained to compare. School, work, social media, they all teach us that life is a race. But Adler and the philosopher reject this. Life is not a competition. You don't need to be better than others. You just need to be yourself, fully. Comparison breeds inferiority or superiority. Both are traps. Instead, aim for horizontal relationships, built on equality, not hierarchy. Live in contribution, not competition. You are not the center of the world. But you are not its periphery either. You matter. Not because you're better, but because you're you. Part 6. The Meaning of Life, 24:00, 28:00. Voiceover. So what's the point of all this? What's the meaning of life? The philosopher answers simply. The meaning of life is to live in harmony with others, and to contribute. Not flashy. Not grand. Just this. Live well, live freely, and help others do the same. Happiness isn't found in achievement. It's found in community, authenticity, and courage. This is Adler's core message. And the youth finally begins to understand. The path to happiness is internal, not external. Conclusion. So, what does it mean to have the courage to be disliked? It means choosing a life of freedom over approval. It means owning your choices, letting go of the past, and separating what's your task from what's not. It means living with purpose, not performance. But worth it? Absolutely. This book is a philosophical punch to the gut, and maybe the beginning of your own transformation. If this resonated with you, give this video a like, subscribe to Bookmarked, and share it with someone who needs the courage to live their own life. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing. Before the courage to be disliked became a global phenomenon, it started with a simple question. What if true freedom came from not needing to be liked? Let's take a moment to step back, to explore the story behind this life-changing book and the minds that brought it to life. The Courage to be Disliked isn't your typical self-help book. It's a modern philosophical dialogue based on the psychology of Alfred Adler, one of the three great figures in classical psychology, alongside Freud and Jung. But while Freud looked to the past, and Jung to the unconscious, Adler was radically different. He believed that we are not determined by our experiences, but by the meaning we give them. In other words, we are not victims of our past. We are the authors of our future. This idea inspired Ichiro Kishimi, a Japanese philosopher and Adlerian psychotherapist, to bring Adler's little-known teachings to a wider audience. But instead of writing a dry academic book, he teamed up with writer Fumitake Koga, a professional author and editor, to present these ideas in a fresh, accessible format. Together, they created something unique. Writing hand about the authors. Ichiro Kishimi. Born in Kyoto, Japan, Kishimi is a respected philosopher and psychotherapist. He spent decades studying Adlerian psychology and teaching philosophy. His goal? To help people realize they can change their lives by changing how they think. Kishimi's depth of knowledge gives the book its intellectual backbone, but it's his calm, wise presence as the philosopher